the winner to battle the #2 seed Notre Dame in the quarterfinals tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Virginia Tech, very familiar here with this arena in Brooklyn. Not all that fond of it, though, because they lost 2 games here over Thanksgiving in the NIT tip-off. They fell to #9 Memphis and #5 Xavier. Both close games. Both of those teams are on the bubble. There's going to be a lot of bubble talk coming out of Brooklyn, too.
It absolutely will be, and especially when you consider Wake Forest, who was already teetering on the bubble, losing, and not even making it to the quarterfinals here in the ACC tournament.
Well, Mutts with his first touch as he backs that one into the lane on Hall and drops in the first basket on a quick start.
And that was so easy, but one of the things as you look at the Clemson starting lineup, P.J. Hall not giving much resistance on that possession, but P.J. Hall has to stay out of foul trouble. That's one of the things he keeps on the mind early in games.
Hunter Tyson, wearing #5 for the Tigers, also a double-figure scorer at 10 and 5 per game. And handling it out high, the 17 and 15 coming in, knocking off NC State in round 1 by 6. And Hall's first one will not fall. Coach K called him back in January a pro right now. As we look at the starting 5 for the Hokies, Aline, Couture, Murphy, Aluma, and Mutts. Team that can hit the 3, they make 39% beyond the 3-point line.
Coach K also called P.J. Hall the most improved player on the planet, but he wasn't the most improved player in the ACC. That award went to Darius Maddox. P.J. Hall runner-up in that category.
Close vote. Aluma bouncing for Mutts. The 6'7" grad will swing it. Aluma, 15 and 7 coming in. Got underneath too far. And here come the Tigers again.
But just like that, you see 2 different actions on the post for P.J. Hall defending. He put up a lot of fight against Aluma on that possession comparison to the first one against Mutts.
Under to the corner, and Tyson. Shot clock down to 8 for the Tigers. Hunter will loft one way downtown and knock in a 3. And Chase Hunter gets the Tigers on the board. He had 23 against Boston College, 21 against Wake Forest earlier this season, so he can be a real factor offensively.
Yeah, but he only had 1 against Virginia Tech on Saturday, so he's already outdone what he did in 27 minutes in that game here in the first 2.
Hudson Hall banging into the paint, got the angle, and knocks down a tough shot.
Well, you see out of the gate, Mike Young wants to go at P.J. Hall on the block. Mutts has been successful. Aluma has not, and that really shows the strength of Justyn Mutts, especially in the lower body, going up against an athlete like P.J. Hall.
Had a triple-double against Syracuse, just the 2nd in school history. Tie up on the play here. The possession arrow will keep it on this end. Brad Brownell, head coach, of course, for the Tigers. Had some tough losses this season. By 2 to Boston College, 71-69 to Duke, by 2 to North Carolina, by 1 to FSU. So a number of real heartbreakers for the Tigers.
And that's really been the career of Brad Brownell at Clemson. They've played tight games. Of course, a very good defensive team normally.
Hall, a nice reverse. Beat the pressure by Aluma underneath for 2.
And a great find from Hunter Tyson. And Tyson is very versatile at 6'8", has the ability to shoot the 3, but also make plays off the bounce and find his teammates.
Let's up top this time. Storm Murphy, the grad, point guard. He's a very serious scorer at Wofford. And that one's going to be drilled in by Couture. Makes 41% beyond that line.
And a welcome sign from Mike Young in talking with their staff pregame, and especially associate head coach Mike Jones. He said, we are as we make shots. That's going to be important for us each and every time out.
Collins, 40% from the 3-point line. Will fire into the corner. Hall had to go and get it. Shot clock at 6. Honor takes a look, fires it up there, and it won't drop for him. And Couture with the rebound.
And Obi, I'm never going to have an issue with guards getting their shots, but the way that Virginia Tech's going at P.J. Hall.
Great adjustment there by Aluma after the pass to knock that in. He had 6 double-doubles during the regular season.
But you see how Virginia Tech is putting P.J. Hall in every action when he's on defense. Right now, you got to get him the basketball on the block and allow him to attack the bigs for Virginia Tech.
Hall giving up his dribble. Here's Collins. batted away. Nice hands there by Mutts to flick it away. 15:40 to go in the first half.
And Justyn Mutts is having his way early in this game, going at P.J. Hall, forcing him to defend. They want to get P.J. in foul trouble. He doesn't want to get the fouls, and right now, he's getting buckets. Because Justyn Mutts takes 7 dribbles to get to the basket, get to a sweet spot, and go over the top and score against P.J. Hall. And you can tell the respect that Clemson has for Justyn Mutts. Dre, you got more on that?
I mean, yes, Justyn Mutts is just an incredible all-around person, Corey. He earned his psychology degree at Delaware, earned his master's in agricultural and life sciences, and he's pursuing a second master's degree. I talked to him, and he said education's always been important to him. Basketball will stop at some point, but he doesn't want to be one of those guys that loses himself because his identity is wrapped up in the game. He said, basketball is what I do, not who I am.
And Dre, you're talking with Justyn Mutts pregame. I went over and told him I did vote for you for all defense because he takes a lot of pride in that. He says, hey, you win some, you lose some.
Well, on the 3-ball, Clemson able to cut in the lead now 9-8. Tigers not a huge part of their attack in recent games, but they're actually a good three-point shooting team, 37%.
And as you mentioned, that this Clemson team was top 10 nationally in the non-conference, shooting over 40% from 3, but only 34% in ACC play brought them back to earth.
A sweet shot by Darius Maddox, a 6'5" sophomore out of Maryland, who tends to make them. He makes 54% overall, 53% from 3.
And he's starting to become instant offense off the bench for Mike Young and Virginia Tech. Of course, the game winner against Miami. But more importantly, his defense is allowing him to get more time.
Bohanna with some muscle getting in close. The 6'6" senior.
And I like the switch from Brad Brownell, bringing in Bohanna to deal with Justyn Mutts on the interior and to keep P.J. Hall away from picking up that foul.
Hassan underneath, blocked from behind, but he's going to draw the foul. Hall with the personal. And Hassan, the 6'9" sophomore out of the Netherlands, will be at the line to shoot here. Virginia Tech up by 1.
And you can see Mike Young has instructed his bigs to go at P.J. Hall, recognizes how important it is for Clemson to have him on the floor. And you see everyone that he's guarding being very aggressive, attacking him offensively.
Now, right now, ESPN's Joe Lunardi has the Hokies very much a bubble team. Some damaging losses. NC State had one to Boston College, one to Clemson, although Clemson is a very tough out. BC is certainly proving to be one in this tournament.
I can tell you right now who is rooting for Clemson. That will be the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Yes.
Because they don't want any of the bubble teams continuing to advance, which could knock them back down after their upset here today versus Boston College.
Hokies just lost to Clemson on the road last Saturday, 63-59, making just 9 out of 30 beyond the three-point line. Bohannon swings it to Honor. On the drive, Bohannon, a lot of traffic and hung on the Honor, but would not drop for him. So here's what we are referencing, bracketology with Joey Brackets. He's got Wake Forest last 4 in. He said that did not change today, even with the loss. Virginia Tech first 4 out, Virginia next 4 out.
And you know I rarely disagree with Joey Brackets. I believe that Wake Forest has to be a little more so on the bubble than what he's leading on. When you consider their non-conference, as well as they don't have really many big wins at all in ACC play.
Shot clock down to 10. Dawes backing outside to 3. Shot clock a factor. Down to 2. And with 2 on the clock, a foul. And a blocking foul and a bit of a bailout.
And that was absolutely a bailout. Sean Padula has to recognize at that point, you do not want to bail out Clemson with only 1 second remaining on the shot clock. You go out. That foul is picked up with 1 on the shot clock. And Padula trying to get over and take that charge, but a risky play with very little time to get a shot off.
So reset to 20 on the shot clock. Hemingway coming off the bench and immediately drops in a three-pointer.
And by the way, Hemingway loves Virginia Tech. 3 for 3 for him the last time out. One of 2 players in double figures for the Clemson Tigers. 12 points for him in that game, but when he gets hot, he is hard to cool off. We got a number of those guys in this game.
And Hemingway ranks number 5 all-time in three-point shooting percentage at Clemson, so he can fill it. So can this guy, Padula. 7 to shoot and a slip. And a whistle. There'll be a foul there on Collins as Couture hit the bench with a little help, and that'll be his first personal. Tied at 13. ACC tournament, round number 2. Collins will step out. And Chase Hunter, the 6'3" sophomore out of Atlanta, back in.
Well, you can tell this is a huge game for both these teams, especially when you look at the benches and you see not just the head coach, but all 3 assistants standing up yelling out instructions as well. And you can tell the magnitude of this one.
It's a telltale sign, isn't it? 5 to shoot here. Both teams get late in that shot clock. Hassan driving, and the foul as well as he hits the ground. But right back up and looking for a three-point play.
And David Hassan was not a factor in the game Saturday versus these 2 teams, but he has been early in this game, attacking the rim, picking up the foul on P.J. Hall in the earlier possession, and this time going to the rim in the finish, and an opportunity for the and-one.
Middlebrooks with the foul. Foul shooting a bit of an issue for David, only 49%. But all sorts of nice touch on that one.
P.J. Hall back into the game, and again, one of the things that Brad Brownell has had to monitor all year long with P.J. Hall is making sure you keep him out of foul trouble, keep him away from 2 or more in that first half to allow him to be aggressive in the second half.
Well, Hannon trying to back in. Hall is free to fire, and he airmailed that one. That touched nothing. He's off to a choppy start. Padula. He'll pull up, and that one's going to stick. Possession arrow will keep it on his end.
Over his head. If you think about the length of his legs, the length of his arms, this is still impressive. And if you can read his lips, he says, I played gymnastics, or I did gymnastics when I was about this little. Assistant head coach T-Mac, who is also a Clemson great, said that P.J. Hall can do splits. Corey, I don't know if you were doing splits in college to have your level of greatness, but that's next level to me.
Dre, if I ever did a split, that would be it. So when you think about myself and putting my foot over my head, that would just simply be a backflip because the rest of my body will continue to go.
Alavir Dawes with a pretty shot to scoop underneath the iron. And Clemson within 1. I was wondering, because I was about 20 feet from him. I wasn't looking at him, but I was feeling this wind like right past me about 1 million miles an hour. That's what that was. Aluma going down hard, and he will draw the foul. And nothing but net crew will be back tonight at 11:30 Eastern. Break down all 4 second-round games and have postseason interviews, plus a look ahead at tomorrow's quarterfinals on the ACC network and the ESPN app.
Speaking of staying up late, I come in, I see my guy Joel Berry, Luke Hancock, they're dressed in sweatsuits and jeans and all. I'm asking, hey, what are you guys doing? They don't go on air until 11:30, so they're burning the midnight oil tonight.
No, Hemingway just lost it. This flat loss command of it, and out of bounds it goes. 11:05 to go here in the first half. Hokies are trying to snap a 3-game losing skid in the ACC tournament. They have not won in this event since beating Miami in the second round in 2019. Padula with the bounce. Aline leans into one, but well short. And over to the Tigers. Tigers coming in 17-15, their last 4-game win streak entering the conference tournament. Well, they won the Southern Conference tournament in 1939.
I normally would say 39 was a good year, but I really don't know.
Dawes. So a hand in there with a tough rebound. And Hunter will set it up for Clemson. Hemingway, nice drive using the window.
Yeah, that's not something you see often. Hemingway normally does most of his damage from beyond the three-point arc, but Virginia Tech knows that, runs him off the line. Hemingway does a great job adjusting and getting a layup.
Padula, little floater. Kissed it off the glass.
And that's an area where Sean Padula gives them that Storm Murphy does not. Padula's starting to get more minutes at that point guard position as the season goes along. He has the ability to not only attack the rim, but to finish as well.
And Rookie's had some nice games. He had 20 against Florida State, 17 against Miami. Hemingway let that one roll out of play. Look at that kiss a moment ago. That's the definition of a kiss.
See, and again, you know, I'm not a fan of floaters. Not only refer to this as a floater. This is what you call a giant killer. You see, when you see the big fella come in and almost throw their shoulder out of socket, we say, go get that big fella. No way he can get to it.
Hunter pulls up, little fall away. Yes. Chase Hunter, the sophomore. And the Tigers back in front by one.
Chase Hunter did the majority of his damage this season when he was playing without P.J. Hall and Hunter Tyson injured. If he can give them that level of performance, this Clemson team will be dangerous with them on the floor.
Hassan trying to work it close and does. He gets it done. Sophomore had 15 in the season opener against Maine, but he's had 10 or more only one time since then, but he's getting some looks early.
Well, and it's not a very deep Virginia Tech team, but when Mike Young goes to his bench, there's quality there. When you think about Gasson up front as well as Maddox as a wing and Padula on the perimeter, they go 8 deep, but those 8 are very good.
Hemingway with a misfire there, and the Hokies on the move. Head coach Mike Young looking to win his 20th game. Looking to win 20 for the first time since he took over as a head coach at Virginia Tech. Mike did that 6 times at Wofford. If you look at the bracket now, the New York Life ACC tournament. Duke and Syracuse tomorrow. That'll be Newtown on ESPN with Jay Billis and Dan Schulman. They'll have the 2:30 game to Miami, and Boston College so far a major surprise with 2 wins in this tournament. Big upset of Wake Forest today.
But I don't think Boston College is surprised at themselves, though. I believe they came into this tournament recognizing that they could get this done. Watched James Carnick on TV last night on Nothing But Net talking to the crew, and he basically said, we're not here to win one game. We're here to do some damage in this tournament, and they have done just that.
Very much a team effort today. And an overtime victory against the Demon Deacons. Padula smooth at the line, makes it 22-19. Collins looking inside. Here's Hunter. On the drive, shovels it up there. Shefflin underneath and gave it away on the run. Mutts. Padula and a foul. And he will be headed to the foul line. He's very good. Brad Brownell. Some very difficult losses this season, but looking for a magical run here in Brooklyn. And so far, P.J. Hall has been pretty darn quiet on the bench at the moment for the Tigers. The big star. Coming off 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks against NC State yesterday.
But I love the way Brad Brownell coaches P.J. Hall up. And you talk about the development of P.J. Hall, where he was a year ago to where he is now when he was playing behind Amir Sims. P.J. Hall has grown by leaps and bounds, but Brad Brownell knows there is still a lot more to go for P.J. Hall. He can be a great at Clemson.
Shefflin on a bounce feed and a whistle. Roger Ayers calling a foul there. Number 13.
Virginia Tech foul number 13.
Darius Maddox. And that'll be his first. 8:15 to go. Hunter Couture back on now from Mike Young. And Dawes to check it in for the Tigers. And a whistle. And another foul. That'll go on Couture on a reach-in. That'll be his first.
And you see Chase Hunter being more aggressive without P.J. Hall on the floor. There are driving lanes for him to be able to get to the rim, and he shows off that strength and athleticism attacking the basket.
Be 2 shots here for Chase Hunter. Tigers pretty good foul shooting team. Should have come to that. They're 74%. Hunter had a pretty strong game yesterday as well, with 8 points and 4 assists in the victory against NC State to get them into round 2. 4-point lead here for the Hokies. Couture catching, firing. We've seen him do that before.
Absolutely. And when he gets hot, he is hard to cool down. Hunter Couture moving very well without the basketball. And a nice move underneath to get a split-second break from Chase Hunter, chasing him out off the 3-point line. Not able to get there in time.
Collins, quick step. Yes. Drops in 2. Now, you and I saw Hunter Couture at Florida State. 27 points, and he flat could not miss. 9
for 11 from 3. And Shampadula was 6 for 7 at the same time. And this time they get the foul as Chase Hunter is chasing. But we get an opportunity to see P.J. Hall. We talked about him getting coached up. He and Brad Brownell have a great relationship. He listens to coach, talks about it, pats coach on the back, and then, of course, daps up all his teammates. Not just a great player, but a great teammate as well.
Xavier, it's going to be in trouble. It's going to be sweating until Sunday, and it bodes well for a couple teams that could play right now and then later on tonight in the ACC tournament, also in the Big Ten tournament as well.
Does Wake Forest and X losing? Opportunity, Virginia Tech. Back to the guy, Brooklyn.
Dallin John and Sean, where are my frequent flyer miles? Farnham.
I was about to say, I just watched Farnham on the West Coast at like midnight here last night.
How does he do that?
And you know what it is? Private jet. He's big time.
He is big time.
Yes, he is. That's
See
it.
the way that man dresses? Oh, my God. That's definitely big time. Long one coming. And off the mark, but Hall will scoop up the rebound. On her right back at it with a 3, and that won't fall either. And a terrific rebound in traffic by Aluma. And if you missed it, when we came on the air, we were talking about the news of the tournament so far, and that is the Syracuse star, Buddy Boeheim, is suspended 1 game for tomorrow's game, quarterfinal matchup with the #1 seed, the Duke Blue Devils. They're throwing a punch today at Wyatt Wilkes during the game. He was in the run of play. Was not detected by the officiating crew during the game. It was looked at by the ACC afterwards, and they suspended him 1 game.
And that was the right move. And of course, you know, we're talking about my buddy. I love Buddy Boeheim. But at the end of the day, that was the right move by the ACC to make sure they took care of it. Because otherwise, you set a precedent that it's allowed, and you would see other players replicate it.
Tyson, is he wearing a shot clock? It's at 1. No, it's going to go off, and that's it. A shot clock violation. So here's how that looked earlier. Syracuse in a runaway over Florida State, but here's what everybody's talking about.
And Wyatt Wilkes gets physical, trying to box out, but on the way back, Buddy Boeheim taking exception to it. The right hand to the gut of Wyatt Wilkes. And, you know, was shocked that there wasn't reviewed at the time. Wyatt Wilkes went down and stayed down for a second, trying to gather himself, but the ACC got that one right, going back, reviewing it as a conference later and handing down the suspension.
Well, I know it doesn't matter as regards the rule and the suspension what happened before. We have not been able to find, believe me, we've been doing a lot of looking, anything that precipitated that might lead you to think, well, he was really angry, really upset, other than the shove there right before the punch.
Yeah, didn't see anything, but at the same time, again, things happen in the basketball game. It's stuff that happens like that throughout the game all the time. It just often is not in the open, and it doesn't get seen. And that one was out in clear daylight, and Buddy just happened to get caught.
Well, like you say, he is a great kid. He's a terrific player. Bad moment for him. Murphy straight on for the triple. Shooting continues to be very good for both sides.
Well, and you're talking about 2 good shooting teams, and Clemson wasn't as good during ACC play as they were in the non-conference, but Virginia Tech led the ACC for most of the season from beyond the 3-point arc in percentage as well as makes per game.
You see P.J. Hall can get rolling here before halftime. He has 5 minutes to do it. Hunter on the slam and a quick stride to the basket.
We talked about Chase Hunter staying aggressive now that P.J. Hall and Hunter Tyson were back, and he has done just that here in this first half, attacking the basket. And again, none more aggressive than that. You see Clemson going to a zone, which is rare for Brad Brownell, but trying to protect P.J. Hall, make sure he keeps him out of foul trouble.
Murphy gets another three-point look, and that's all net. Storm Murphy. Well, the graduate on target to open up a 35-24 advantage for the Hokies.
So when you play zone against Virginia Tech, you've got to be aware of the shooters as Nick Arnold gets into the painted area. But one thing for certain, Clemson can't afford to trade threes for twos.
Clemson 11 out of 22, and Virginia Tech 12 for 18. Round 2 in Brooklyn. Murphy, contact there, and it's out on Clemson.
Game they got to have. They're playing well so far, up 9. We'll see you at the half. OB, CA, to you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We look forward to your work at the half. 35-26, Virginia Tech. Theft by Collins, and we'll lay it in.
Collins got a flat tire.
Yes, he did.
On that break right there, we thought he was going up for a big-time dunk, and he's wincing on the way back. We got to keep an eye on David Collins to see if he's injured.
Yeah, he's limping right now.
And guarding Hunter Couture, you don't want to be limping. This young man moves without the ball as well as anyone.
Yeah, I thought for a moment that Collins may have stepped out of his shoe, but it might be worse than that. We'll see. He's hanging in there. Mutts going over the top. And with 6 to get off the shot, that one won't drop for the Hokies. Collins appears to be all right. And a whistle with 3:08 to go on a foul. Back to that one.
Oh, you see this in pickup games all the time. Guys who can't really dunk go up and try to act like they're going to dunk, and then they blow a tire and lay it up and say, oh, guess what I was about to do. And you see right there Collins, who can dunk, had some mean intentions with that one, but an awkward landing for him and an awkward takeoff. Glad to see he's okay walking that one off and staying on the court.
Collins is Clemson's number 1 overall rebounder. Hall at the line. He's an 80% foul shooter. And you had mentioned in comments earlier this season by Coach K when he said that the most improved player on the planet was P.J. Hall. Darius Maddox of NC State just edged him out for the most improved player in the conference when the voting came in.
Great knowledge of Coach K, though, covering the entire planet.
The entire planet. He can do that.
He must have one of those Sean Farnham planes then.
I'm amazed that Sean Farnham is back in the studio looking cool, collected, at ease as he always is. And yet, 3 hours ago he was calling the game on the West Coast, it felt like. Honor swings up top for Tyson. 2:40 to go here in the first half. Tyson thought about it off the screen. Here's Collins. Shot clock is dwindling down again. The clock is down to 5. Hall with a spin, but that won't drop for him.
And those were shots we saw P.J. Hall making last night. And at this point, you have to question, is fatigue starting to set in? This is the second game in 2 days for Clemson.
Murphy again on target from three-point land.
And Virginia Tech looks nice and fresh, especially on the offensive end of the floor. 5 for 6 from beyond the three-point arc, and now shooting 62% from the field.
Well, Murphy has their last 9 points. All on triples. All asking for the ball, but that hook will not drop for him. So he's been off the mark here in the first 20. And Hemeline gives it up. Maddox very dangerous outside the 3, as is Padula. He'll launch again and hit another one. He is cooking.
At Wofford, and now getting it done in his ACC tournament debut.
Yeah, he got 18 points a game as a senior at Wofford. Big time as he went over to defend, I should say so.
And a great attack by Chase Hunter getting around the corner, but Keve Aluma having no parts of another highlight from Chase Hunter. He's seen it before and is not going to see it again.
Collins with a fall away. Can't stick it. Virginia Tech opening up a 41-29 lead with about a minute to go before halftime. Here against the Tigers, Aluma lets fly. Too strong.
Obi and Dre, you all know me too well. You know if I'm Storm Murphy at that point, no way I'm passing the basketball.
Well, Tyson didn't, and that's a good thing as he buries a triple. 41-32. Well, both sides have shot the ball pretty effectively. Aluma up top. Finds Murphy again. That's 6 on the shot clock. Aluma backing in. Yes. Keve Aluma to make it 43-32. Final seconds here. Dawes with it. Got to get a shot in the air. And dribbled it away, and too much of that, and it cost them an opportunity at the very end. And the first half ends 43-32.
Virginia Tech with a great first half, and when you haven't played in a building, normally it takes you some time to get used to it. That has not been the case here for the Hokies.
Well, the Hokies 63% shooting in the first half, Greg.
Coach, over
When the quiet storm comes on, but starting at 7, it's been about Storm Murphy, and there's been nothing quiet about this storm.
Well, you're right about everybody else contributing, though, because Virginia Tech as a team has made 63% of their shots, 75% beyond the 3, and they made all 7 of their foul shots. They can't miss.
Well, and they have played very well on the offensive end of the floor, but also defensively done the job on P.J. Hall, keeping him out of the scoring column as much as Clemson would love to see him there.
That's going to be a traveling violation on the Tigers, so not a great way for them to begin the second 20. And trying to avoid elimination here in the tournament tonight. Tigers at 17-50, one of the hotter teams coming in with a 5-game winning streak. Clemson with 10 players logging minutes in that first half. Murphy leading the way with a dozen. Aluma. Couture had it deflected. Mutts will pick that up. 5 to get a shot off now. Couture trying to muscle his way in out to Mutts. Got a good look, but he can't drain it.
And P.J. Hall looks as though he turned an ankle, coming away limping. And he's talking to Tommy Morsey about the hook on that possession. PJ missed time with a foot injury, missed 4 games earlier this year. Hopefully there's nothing re-aggravated there. You see going after, he and Aluma get involved, and Aluma comes down on that left foot.
Now Hall had a rough first half, but they need him back. And as soon as they can, their #1 scorer at 15 a game. Honor trying to penetrate. Out of the corner, that won't fall for Tyson. Big battle for that. And Murphy comes away with a basketball. Murphy another touch. Couture off the fake. Aluma's open. Got it.
And that's why he's such a matchup problem. You've got to be there on the 5-man for Virginia Tech. Everyone for Virginia Tech can shoot the 3. And Keve Aluma, a high percentage guy from beyond the arc.
As a team, 39%. Hunter, quick dish underneath. Good defense again by Aluma. Really collapsed on the interior. Couture with a catch and fire, not this time.
I like the look from Couture, however. He doesn't get many clean looks. When you get opportunity, when you're that good of a shooter, you take it early in the shot clock.
A 41% three-point man. Hokies 46-32 early here in the second half. Virginia and Louisville still to come tonight. The late game here from Barclays. Tyson to the baseline. Honor just got it off in time, but can't connect. They'll get another shot at it. Tyson's fake on the spin, still working. Virginia Tech in a long defensive sit here. The swing for Tyson way downtown. That didn't touch anything. He's airmailed a couple.
Well, and Hunter Tyson just getting back into the lineup on March 2nd. So again, this is not, I'm sure he's not back into full basketball shape. And they're a different team when he's healthy. But you can tell right now he's a bit winded with the shots coming up short.
Now he suffered a broken clavicle back in early February against FSU.
And right now you see Brad Brownell imploring his guy Hunter Tyson to try to find a way to get involved in this game. That's how important Tyson is to this Clemson lineup. Right now only 1 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Right now stepping out of the game. Some mounting frustration here, certainly for the Tigers. You can sense that as Collins spins into the lane, and it will not fall for him, chasing his own miss, and a whistle with 16:43 to go. And he is slow to rise on that baseline.
Take your time. Take your time.
You see Collins getting involved and the foot sliding, no shoe on that right foot going out. Dre, you got your shoes on the baseline. It seems to be coming off here a bit.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. I know when I played, my shoes were extra tight, Corey, so my shoes weren't ever coming off. But while we're here, P.J. Hall earlier did see him tell the staff that he was good to go, but feeling the intensity of the moment, you see him rip the towel as he is going back to the bench. We'll see if Clemson can turn things around.
That was an impressive move as well. Again, ripping a towel isn't the easiest thing to do. And we've seen his gymnastic stuff already.
He is, yeah, he's multi-skilled.
Yeah, and he is a big-time athlete right there. And I'm not sure he was doing that to be impressive, but it impressed me.
Well, I think he's a little bit ticked off about the way things are unfolding here tonight. And he's had a rough evening so far. Hokies with the ball back. Murphy was scalding hot in that first half. Swings it here for Maddox from the corner. So the Tigers searching for a hot hand themselves. Bohannon spinning into the lane and held up and fouled there. So Gasson with the personal. 16:08 to go in this contest. And of course the Phillips 66 Big 12 championship. First round, Kansas State and West Virginia. It's currently on ESPNU. Tomorrow, Kansas into the quarterfinals, awaiting the winner of that one.
Props to the Big 12. One of the very few conferences where everyone plays each team home and away.
Hunter took a glance at that shot clock. Bohannon banging inside. Once again, a foul by Gasson. And a timeout with 15:53 remaining. And those top 4 seeds are all in action tomorrow. Duke, Notre Dame, Carolina, and Miami. Meanwhile, tonight here in round 2, it's 46-32 Virginia Tech. Hot shooting Hokies team grabbing the lead against Clemson. Out of the corner, absolutely buried by Chase Hunter. They need more of that. And they need the return of P.J. Hall, who remains on the bench.
Yeah, nice action out of the timeout by Brad Brownell, getting Alamir Dawes going downhill and unable to find a layup, but finds a three-point shooter from beyond the arc. But the issue for Clemson has been on this end of the floor, trying to stop Virginia Tech.
Couture just lost the handle. Comes free to Honor on the drive. Couture, great defense. Deflected that away. And that goes out of the hands of the Hokies, but here come the Virginia Cavaliers and the Louisville team as well. Louisville on their way in right now. And they'll be matching up in our second game tonight.
See Malik Williams entering the building, who is playing inspired basketball as his college career could be coming to an end, but he does not want that to be the case here tonight. And I'm sure Louisville's looking forward to a matchup against Virginia. They've lost to Virginia twice this year. You know the old adage is it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah, hard to beat a good team 3 times. That's that old adage.
I left out a word in that, I take it.
Hassan picking up foul number 3. 15:01 to go. Murphy hitting the bench here for the Hokies. Collins will set it up now for Brad Brownell. He'll drive it all the way through. That just opened up for him.
And now it's a 9-point game. And right now, if you're Clemson, dig in defensively, see if you can find a way to come up with another stop and put some concern into the minds of the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Padula lifts. He can't connect. Tough rebound by Gasson, and he'll draw the foul, using his size to go up and over.
And David Gasson attacking the offensive board, and that is something that Clemson is susceptible to with no P.J. Hall on the floor. And we saw Hall go out limping off the floor earlier, but he seemed to be okay. And right now, Brad Brownell choosing to keep P.J. out of this game.
So Gasson at the line, where it's been tough for him, 49%. He is, however, 3 for 4 in this one. Tiger star remaining on the bench. Gasson making 1 of 2. All left at the 19-12 mark. Hokies led 43-32. Chase Hunter, his Dawes. Bohannon turning on Mutts now, trying to get around him, using the body, but no.
Great job by Justyn Mutts standing his ground on that one. And Justyn Mutts, who in my opinion was an all-ACC defender this year.
Mutts with a wild pass up and over Maddox, his intended target. And Virginia coming in as well. Tony Bennett's team looking to make a run in this tournament.
And the Who's need a journey throughout this tourney to make it to the NCAA tournament. And right now, you're talking about a team that needs 2-3 wins, maybe even 4, and win the whole thing to get into the NCAA tournament. But I think they have to at least make it into the semifinals and maybe the finals to be under consideration.
10-point lead for Virginia Tech. Trying to pick up win number 20 tonight. Padula taking his time. Maddox won't. And knocks in a 3.
Well, if you're shooting 54% from 3, I wouldn't take any time either. And no way I could shoot that high of a percentage. I would shoot the basketball every time down the floor if I was shooting as high as Darius Maddox is. But I like the way he's staying disciplined and what Mike Young is asking him to do, not only on the offensive end of the floor, but defensively as well.
He's one of those guys who can roll out of bed and hit threes all day long. Little floater, and dropped in by Hunter. So 50-39. Clemson the number 10 seed. The Hokies the number 7 seed. Padula went to drive, lost his footing. It's slapped away, and it'll stay on this end.
Back into the game for Clemson, number 12, Alex Hemingway.
Possibly the last ACC tournament for Keve Clark as he continues to climb the ladder on the career assist board for the University of Virginia, and of course one of the most important members in UVA basketball history when you consider the biggest play ever made in UVA basketball against Purdue in the Elite Eight game to get Virginia to the Final Four.
Padula looking for an angle. No, and stuffed in by Mutts.
When you watch Justyn Mutts play, you just look and say, this is a guy that I would love to have as a teammate. He doesn't command the basketball, take a lot of shots, a great passer, but more importantly, he does all the dirty work and makes winning plays each and every time down the floor.
Bohannon jumping and firing, and he draws the contact. And Mutts had a triple-double against Syracuse, 12, 14, and 11 assists. Just the second in school history.
Well, you get a rebound and points off this play, so he's adding to that tab, filling up multiple stat categories on that one possession alone.
David Gasson just picked up his 4th foul. So 6 for Mutts so far tonight, along with 6 rebounds. And Bohannon drops in number 1.
I wonder if Dre was a triple-double threat. You know, she was a pass-first point guard. I wonder if she was a triple-double threat each and every night out.
My rebounding, Corey, you know, some days I'd get about 7. That's what my coaches always wanted. But I was not a triple-double threat. It was the rebound. Although, possibly with steals, I may have gotten close as far as scoring, assists or rebounding, and then some steals.
Well, look at Dre. You had the aerodynamic look going on back in your day, so I can see you coming up. And of course, you lead the SEC in steals per game. So I think you could have got a triple-double and throw 10 steals in the mix.
I did have a teammate get a triple-double. Shout out to Jordan Reynolds. If she's watching this, she's overseas, got a triple-double. That's really hard to do, Corey. Did you ever get one? Let's turn the table here.
Well, once again, Dre, you have to understand. Now, I would have high assist games, but they often weren't at the same time when I had high scoring games.
I always love how I am completely left out of these discussions. Nobody even looks over here at the play-by-play.
Oh, be the triple-double.
And what happened between Buddy Boeheim and Wyatt Wilkes, that punch during the game between Syracuse. And he said in the heat of today's game, after some shoving in the lane, I swung my arm while turning to go back to the court. It was wrong to act out in frustration. I apologized to Wyatt Wilkes multiple times in the handshake line. He said not to worry about it, but I know I was wrong. I pride myself in respecting the game and our opponent. I will not react that way again.
And I can appreciate Buddy taking accountability for his actions. And he'll respect and doesn't have a choice but to respect what the ACC decides to do. But just getting a look at that video, and again, and things happen in the heat of competition. It's happened to each and every person. But at the same time, you see Buddy Boeheim, you see the smile, you see his personality coming out. I know he's truly sorry for what happened. And more importantly, he's sorry to his teammates for the fact that he won't be able to be there within tomorrow.
So it was a classy reaction there. They won it 96-57 over FSU. So they have to go up against Duke now for the 3rd time without their #1 player. And a foul on the baseline as Collins went down. Duke, the #1 seed. They have handled Syracuse very easily in the first couple of meetings. Miami and Boston College. North Carolina awaiting the winner of the game later tonight. Virginia and Louisville, and Notre Dame to take on the winner of this one.
Well, we're going to need another Boeheim to step up tomorrow for Syracuse. If they have a chance of beating Duke, you're going to need to see Jimmy come out and have a performance like he did against Notre Dame, where he went for 27 points. He hasn't really had a big game as of late. Cole Swider's been playing great basketball, but they're going to need Jimmy to step it up. And Samir Torrance has to be a big factor for them as well.
Swider was terrific today, by the way, with 28 points and 13 rebounds. He had a great game. And Syracuse just steamrolled FSU. Now here tonight, the Hokies on top 52-43, under 11 to play. Mutts on the bounce and deflected by the Tigers and Collins. We have you covered on Selection Sunday. Bracketology starting us off at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Reese and the guys break it all down. The men's field. It's our March Madness women's selection show on ESPN2 as we reveal the 68 teams and look at every team and matchup in each region. And at 10 Eastern, even more coverage of both brackets. And as always, you can watch everything streaming live on the ESPN app. So the Hokies on top 54-43. Collins around the back, leans in, got it to go.
And Clemson's been able to find a rhythm on the offensive end of the floor. That hasn't been the issue. The issue has been trying to get a stop against Virginia Tech And Virginia Tech's not only done a great job making shots, they've also done a great job using the clock. And of course, as I talk up how poised they've been offensively, my guy Sean Perdue goes in and picks up the offensive foul.
So he's going to step out, number 2 on him, and Murphy back on. Who just lit up the place at the tail end of the first half. He scored their last 12 points going into the break.
Yeah, he was a difference maker for Virginia Tech to end the first half. And the Hokies have been able to hang on to about a double-digit lead most of the time. It's 9 now.
Collins around and out. Now P.J. Hall back on the floor here for the Tigers. Stolen away by Bohannon. They'll go around the back. And poked away by Maddox.
But if you want to cut into this lead and really start to put some pressure on Virginia Tech, those are plays you have to turn into points. And a great job by Bohannon coming up with the steal, but that needs to turn into at least 2 points on the other end of the floor.
Dawes lines one up, can't hit. Justyn Mutts continues to have a nice night. And the rebound again. Here's Murphy again. Keve Aluma named to the All-ACC second team for the second year in a row. He's up against Hall. And they're going to get Collins for a foul for the Tigers. That is number 4 on Collins.
I love to see players react to their officials. Tommy Morrissey standing right there watching David Collins hold Naheem Aline. And Collins looks at him and says, what? He's got 2 hands wrapped around him.
A really good crew here. Tommy Morrissey and Tony Henderson and Roger Ayers. Switched in by Keve Aluma.
A dangerous team when everyone on the floor is a three-point threat. Each and every player that's in the rotation outside of David Gasson is a 36% and up three-point shooter.
Oh, way downtown for a triple.
PJ Hall 2 for 3 from beyond the three-point arc, but we really haven't seen him do much damage in the painted area thus far in this game. And that's what we've gotten accustomed to with PJ Hall throughout this season.
Murphy off to Maddox with a jumper that will not drop. Rebound tip, and the Tigers control. Bohannon finding a lane. That rolls off the iron.
Another missed opportunity for Clemson to cut into the lead.
Aluma dribble down. Good defense by Hall. Second effort though, Aline. And tipped up and hung on the iron. Mutts thought he had a basket. That scoops away, controlled by Clemson. So the Hokies had several cracks at it. That'll be a blocking foul. 7:46 to go. Ray will dish it out about the ACC when we return to Brooklyn, New York.
And zero to do with the fact that it was his last year. It had more to do with the fact that during his farewell tour, I saw 3 of his last 4 games. I went and watched him at Virginia. You and I both covered him at at Syracuse
and at Pitt.
And I thought the adjustments that he was making as a coach, especially when they destroyed the Syracuse zone, the things that I watched him do throughout this season, I felt like he still had it. He's not retiring because he doesn't have it anymore. It's just because he's trying to move on to other things. But I thought he had a great coaching year, making adjustments and coaching up his team.
Obviously, Steve Portis did too, and very deserving of that honor. You're not saying anything but that, but a scoop shot along the baseline by Aline as Virginia Tech increases the lead to 59-48. But it's staggering it's been that long since Coach K has won that honor.
And it's the Michael Jordan treatment. It's when you're the best player in the game and everyone expects you to be the best player in the game. They always give it to the person who had the other great regular season.
That's lost the handle.
But when you consider they haven't won an outright ACC championship since 2006, okay, you have reason not to give it to them. But when you win the outright ACC championship, you would think maybe it does come his direction.
By the way, he's won 3 national championships since the last time he won that honor. Just 3. Here's Hall off the back iron. And 13 different coaches have taken that home in that time where Coach K is not. Big rebounding advantage. You look at that, 30-17. And the score is no surprise. Aluma got a good look, but can't bury it.
And Virginia Tech has not been able to put Clemson away. This game stays around 10, often getting down to 9. But Clemson has to find a way to make shots, timely buckets, and get stops. And that really has been eluding them, more so on the offensive end of the floor.
Indeed, Tyson with a miss. So it feels like a larger lead at the moment than 11. It really does for the number 7 seed. And a whistle. Foul against the Tigers.
When we go back to our awards, you just see Keve Aluma now with his 7th double-double of the season. Armando Bacot has 24.
Wow. Wow. So that's another one of the awards that you and I both vote on these for the ACC, and you and I both thought that Armando Bacot had a very good chance to win that award.
Well, I thought so, and again, and I told that to Dre when we were at North Carolina in the Syracuse game. But everyone that we talked to, as Hunter Couture gets fouled shooting the 3, it seems that every coach that I've talked to here at the ACC tournament, most of the broadcasters, everyone voted for Armando Bacot. So I'm wondering, who was it that voted for Alondes Williams? And Dre, maybe you can fill me in on that. You know that I had Armando, and you've talked to a bunch of people as well who voted for Armando, correct?
Correct. All season, so many coaches and staffs talked about how you have to prepare for Armando Bacot differently. There has to be a specific game plan for him, his skill set, and how relentless he is on the glass. I do know that. I don't have the inside scoop on the ACC on who didn't vote for Bacot.
Oh, see, Dre, that's what I rely on you for.
I just got here. I just got here.
All right, we'll take it.
You know, all I'm going to say is I voted for Armando Bacot. I thought he had a deserving year. Alondes Williams did too. I have no problem with him winning that award.
I am not mad at Alondes Williams at all for winning that award. The biggest difference between the two for me was that Alondes Williams played with another guy in Jake LaRavia who may be just as or more important to that team's success than he was. And Armando Bacot did not do that.
Couture, 74% foul shooter, missed a pair there. Actually missed all 3. Here's Honors, giving it up for Collins, and taken away by Padula. Down the back pass, and Tyson with the pick. He saw that coming.
And Virginia Tech is leaving the door open for Clemson, but Clemson right now has to find a way to get through there. You're talking about Couture missing 3 free throws after getting fouled on the 3, and then the behind-the-back turnover. They're keeping the door open, but Clemson yet to take advantage of it.
Tyson underneath. Nice move, and 1. He'll be at the line. Hunter Tyson, the 6'8 senior, to the stripe. And plenty of time here for the Tigers, down 9. Mutts will come on in again for the Hokies. Take a look.
And this is taking advantage. Hunter Tyson, a great job finishing through the contact, concentrating on making the bucket, not just getting the foul. And now an opportunity at the free throw line to get the lead to 8.
He makes 77%. And a three-point play to make this an 8-point game. Virginia Tech 59-51.
And now Clemson is able to set up their full-court pressure with scores.
And a reach-in foul by the Tigers and Chase Hunter.
Number 3, Chase Hunter, his 2nd personal
And if you missed it earlier today, terrific win for Boston College. They have won twice here at this tournament, knocking off Wake Forest in overtime, 82-77. They fell by 10 with 6:05 left in that game. Mutts draws the double. Aline Murphy now. Murphy, the story of the first half of the Hokies. Shot clock at 8. Kicks to Couture. And a battle for the rebound. Once again, Hall comes up a little lame. He's tugging at that shoulder. They're going to get Hall on the personal. And number 2 on him. Virginia and Louisville coming your way next. 9:30 on ESPN2. We'll have that game right here from Barclays Center. Number 6 against number 11.
And another rematch from Saturday. We talked about Virginia Tech and Clemson playing on Saturday. Virginia also played at Louisville on Saturday. A game where Louisville got off to an 8-0 start, but found themselves down 16 points at halftime to Virginia. Virginia 2-0 against the Cards this year. And as my good friend, the notorious D.O.B. told me, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times.
See, I think it can be done where you can beat a really, really, really bad team 3 times. I think that's done on a regular basis, but you're exactly right. Tyson on the wing, wants Hall. That'll spin. It was in the cylinder and kicked out. He couldn't get it to drop. And so the Hokies up by 9. Oh, whistle on that one. Couture to launch. He's been a little bit off his game for a guy who hits 41% outside the 3.
And another bullet dodge by Clemson. Can they take advantage on this end of the floor?
Collins working his way inside a determined drive for David Collins.
And Clemson slowly creeping into that lead. Now got it down to 7. Brad Brownell looking for another stop for his team on the defensive end.
Hokies need a shot of Murphy again. It'll be a lean to try. Not there for him. So you can feel the momentum pushing toward the Tigers. Late stages, 3:20 to go. Under Tyson, more contact, no whistle, block, but that is going to count.
It'll be a 5-point game going into the timeout. Now there's some momentum on the side of the Clemson Tigers. Attacking the rim.
In the quarterfinals tomorrow night at 7. We'll have that for you on ESPN. 60-55. Virginia Tech now suddenly feeling like they're trying to hold on a bit.
They are, and when you consider what's going on right now, OB, and also for you, Dre, when you find yourself as the higher seed in this scenario, and also respecting what has happened with Boston College earlier, do you think Virginia Tech starts to get a little tight at this point?
I think it's a fair point, Dre. Do you agree with that?
Well, I do agree. I have been there before in plenty of tournaments and plenty of times, and both teams are sensing that. As I walked past Clemson's huddle, I heard they're shriveling up, they're tensing up, let's go. And on the Hokies side, their entire staff emphasizing, we are the aggressor. Stay confident, meet the pass, shot selection, and look to score.
Murphy with a misfire, didn't miss anything in that first half, and that's going to go the other way. All complaining that he continues to be held.
And right now, and I love what Dre said about Brad Brownell and basically talking about their tensing up. That builds confidence in your team. And right now, he drew up exactly what they want on this end. If they came up with the stop to try to get their best look offensively, see if they can execute it.
Well, Tigers are heating up. The Hokies have missed 9 of their last 10 shots. All going in strong and drops in 2.
Executed to perfection. Get the basketball to your best player. Allow him to be aggressive. But P.J. Hall comes away gimpy after that attack.
Yeah, he is in pain. He's grimacing. Knocked away, but they're going to call a foul there on Collins with exactly 2 minutes to go in a 3-point game.
That last move by P.J. Hall. It's the patience for me that really stands out. Look, surveying the floor. Now the gap is open. He attacks and the strength to finish, but he waited for the help side, Corey. You saw it to kind of fade out of the lane to attack.
And Dre, I love the patience, but I like the power even better. When you consider not only did he take on one player, he took on 2. As you see coming back down the floor, P.J. Hall's in some pain.
David Collins just picked up his 5th foul. Aluma at the line, drops in 1. Outstanding foul shooter, 84%. So Collins is done. Alamir Dawes coming in for him for Clemson. 61-57 down the stretch we come. And he made 1 of 2. Both very good foul shooting teams. The Hokies made 75% as a team.
But Obi, at this point, you consider what does Clemson have to play for? Nice find, great action. The oldest play in basketball, the old give and go.
And Chase Hunter, the man on the go, and a timeout. 11-2 run here for Clemson. Their star is ailing, but they are closing.
ACC tournament life, but an NCAA tournament life as well. And right now, Clemson playing as though they have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
And Joe Lunardi has the Hokies as a bubble team at the moment. Here's Mutts going over the top for Aluma, and they will foul him with 1:29 to go. Meanwhile, Storm Murphy has disappeared in the second half for the Hokies. He was the story of the first half. He had 12 points. He's only taken 1 shot, 1 3-pointer in the second.
Well, he's been the quiet storm here in the second half and not really giving much. And not that he hasn't made the effort, but give Clemson's defense credit for locking him down. Only 1 shot attempt for Storm Murphy here in the second half.
Aluma with a miss. Again, another good foul shooter, 79%. 2-point lead for the Hokies and the Tigers with the ball.
And once again, we've seen Clemson come out of timeout with great execution.
Honor, a 3 on the way. Got it, it rattles in. Oh, the Tigers with a huge shot with 1:09 to play, and they're up by 1. Nick Honor on the money. Their first
out of timeouts. Great job, great designs by Brad Brownell and his staff. Put some respect on Brad Brownell's name. This man knows how to coach him up.
A 14-2 run. The Hokies have missed 9 out of 10 at exactly the wrong time. Here's Couture. He can't hit it. Mutts comes up with it and sticks in 2, and the Hokies are back on top by 1.
And for Virginia Tech, the guy who's made big plays for them all night long and all season long has been Justyn Mutts. He comes up with another huge performance on the last play.
Well, this is what tournament basketball is all about. Games like tonight, teams fighting for their lives right down to the very end.
Well, this is the fun part. When you consider, you talk about Virginia Tech coming in, there's pressure on them. They have to win games to be able to get into the NCAA tournament and continue their season beyond the ACC tournament. For Clemson, the opportunity is not going to be there unless they win the whole thing, but they're not playing like it right now. They're playing like a team that is on a mission now that they've gotten help.
But the Hokies are now up by a point. As we give it a reset, Virginia Tech with the possession arrow. Clemson with 2 timeouts remaining. The Hokies with 1. And 49 seconds to play.
Some concerned fans behind the bench saw Virginia Tech Athletic Director Whit Babcock checking out the game in the family section.
Honor bringing it up, just hit a giant 3 a moment ago. Hall commanding it. He'll shovel underneath, and the lay-in by Tyson. 35 seconds to go. Back and forth they go.
Oftentimes when you gamble, you lose. Justyn Mutts gambles, takes himself out of the play on that possession defensively, making a 2-on-1. P.J. Hall with the right find. As you see, trying to enter the basketball, you see the gamble by Justyn Mutts, and now he's out the play, putting his team at a disadvantage on the defensive end, and a great 2-man play between P.J. Hall, Hunter Tyson for the bucket to give Clemson the lead right back.
Winner of this one to do battle with number 2 seed Notre Dame in the quarterfinals tomorrow night at 7. Tigers on top by 1.
And Clemson just hung around. We talked about could they get this lead down to 5? Could they get it down to a 1-possession game? And they did that. It took them a while to chip away, but once they made it happen, now you see them playing with that confidence. And we've seen Virginia Tech play a little tight here down the stretch.
35.3. Keve Aluma. Back for Murphy. Murphy launching. Got it! He had been off the board in the second half. He picked a great time to drain one. And the Hokies lead it 66-64, 18.9 to play.
And it's a quiet Storm, no more. Storm Murphy with his biggest basket of the evening. He was the answer for Virginia Tech at the end of the first half, and he's been the answer here coming out of timeout. And you see, he doesn't need much space to be able to elevate and knock down the three, and a big bucket to reclaim the lead for the Hokies. The Virginia Tech bench loving it, knowing once he let it go, they felt like it was good.
Murphy in the clutch. And the Hokies are up by 2. And Clemson will come out of the timeout. Needing a 2 to tie and a 3 to potentially win this thing, but plenty of time. You mentioned that the Hokies in Brooklyn did not have a very good Thanksgiving. They played 2 games here in the NIT Tip-Off Classic. They lost them both to Memphis. They were number 9 at the time, and number 25 Xavier. They were tight games. Both of those teams have played their way out of the bubble here in recent days.
Virginia Tech had a lot of tight games this year, and early in the year, most of them were not going their direction. Getting off to a 2-7 start in ACC play, and then winning 9 of their last 11. But still needing wins here at the ACC tournament to try to continue their season into the NCAA tournament.
Now Boston College and Wake Forest went overtime earlier today on this court. BC won another one. The second win in the tournament, 82-77 OT. How will this one end?
And if you're Clemson, you've got to go relatively quickly to give yourself an opportunity to offensive rebound and put back. Or if you don't score, a chance to foul and extend the game.
12 seconds to go. Hall with a touch. Turning on Mutts. Hooks it up there, knocks it down. And he ties the game, 7.7. Murphy took a look at his bench. Murphy beyond the 3. Murphy heaves it up there. He can't hit it. And this game is going to overtime. Tied at 66. Well, it's fascinating to see Storm Murphy look over at his bench and has kept on rolling and tried for the game-winning shot, but he came up short.
What's even more fascinating is to see P.J. Hall in pain. However, when he gets the basketball in his hands, with his team needing a bucket the most, he looked as healthy as you can get. A beautiful move, a beautiful finish, and a great job defensively by Nick Honor coming up with the stop and quieting the Storm on the last possession.
Coming up with a stop and not fouling. And back to that play by Hall that you mentioned. That's vintage.
That is spectacular. That our guy Kim Belton, our super producer in the truck, that's how he used to do it back in the day, balling at Stanford. I know he can appreciate the way P.J. Hall took it upon his shoulders to attack the paint and finish with the jump hook over the top.
So another one going overtime, like the BC and Wake game did earlier today. He was 15, Aluma with 13 for the Hokies. And the Tigers trying to win their 6th in a row. Heck of a comeback by Clemson. They looked like they were out of it for a long stretch of the second half, but they certainly caught fire at the right time. And we are set for overtime as Clemson wins the tip.
Have to remember David Collins fouling out for Clemson. He's not in the game, but I believe this Clemson team is now playing with more confidence down the stretch.
Tyson out there for him. Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, and Greg Carter with you. Third game of the day here in the ACC tournament. Couture gives it up here to Mutts. He'll launch it. And the Tigers with the rebound.
P.J. Hall is laboring up and down the floor right now, but UC continues to give great effort going after each and every rebound, especially on the defensive end.
Shot clock to 9 here for the Tigers. Hunter Tyson gives it up. Honor on a spin move. And that's a shot clock violation. Rock solid defense.
P.J. Hall has had an evening of ups and downs. Getting going, you see as Keve Aluma falls on his foot, coming away frustrated, ripped the towel to spread, but comes back in, showing off powerful moves into the post. And when the team needed it most, with the game on the line, the jump hook to tie it up at 66.
And it has not moved that score in overtime. Aluma. Keve Aluma can't find the range. So the Tigers trying to take the lead here in OT. Here's Hunter down the lane, though. And now nobody able to make a shot. Aluma. Yes! A triple on the mark for Keve Aluma. Into the All-ACC second team. 15.7 rebounds again.
Big bucket for Keve Aluma stepping up, knocking down the three.
Tyson denied the lane. Dawes will lift. And hits. He answers with a three.
Back at you, Alamir Dawes, close to home. He's a Jersey guy. Stepping up, making a big play for his squad, tying it back up at 69.
Alamir Dawes hit 200 threes during the course of the regular season. 281 of his shots with 3-pointers. That's going to spin up and in by Keve Aluma and draws the foul.
And Keve Aluma has been a star all night, but impressing here in overtime. And you see Aluma and Hall getting mixed up on the previous possession. And you see the left arm to the throw to P.J. Hall, but not enough to stop him from playing and contesting the shot.
And a three-point play for number 22. As a look at that last play.
And you see two of the better bigs in the ACC going at it. This time, Keve Aluma wins. Going baseline, spinning back to the middle, and finishing through the contact of P.J. Hall.
So Aluma with all 6 points in overtime. Virginia Tech on top, 72-69 with 2:19 remaining. And that's been quite a battle between P.J. Hall and Keve Aluma, really, from the opening tip tonight.
It really has been. And when you look at these two teams play, OB, you talk about the injuries that Clemson has endured all year long, got off to a great start. You talk about Virginia Tech, who slumped throughout the beginning of conference play. But these are two very good basketball teams. And right now, if you put these teams in the field, and I'm mentioning Clemson as well, if you put these teams in the field of NCAA, they're going to go out and be competitive and probably win games in the first, second round. The ACC is a much better conference than most people and most experts have given it this year. Undue criticism based upon the non-conference schedule. And again, the ACC was not great in the non-conference, and I know that's when teams are judged. But at the same time, if you look at the quality of this conference throughout conference play, there are quality teams, 1 through 10, in my opinion, that can be effective in the NCAA tournament.
And part of what you're talking about is right now, if you read what Joe Ramadi is putting out, and we have it for you often, he's got 5 teams, that's all, from the ACC going to the NCAA tournament right now.
But if you talk about the teams who are not in that mix, that would include Virginia and Virginia Tech. You're also thinking of teams that can go out and get wins in the NCAA tournament. And again, I understand that you have to take care of your business the entire season. You're judged on the entire season. But if you take the eye test and you say, look at Virginia Tech right now, this definitely looks like an NCAA tournament team.
On top by 3, but the Tigers with the ball. Tyson to the baseline, scoops inside. Yes, got the roll. Tyson with a big bucket to make it a 1-point game. Under 2 minutes to play overtime. Here's Mutts up high. Minute 45 left in OT. Murphy beyond the three-point line. Leaning in, tough shot off the window.
Great defense by Nick Honor, recognizing Storm Murphy, playing with confidence, not giving him any space to operate offensively.
Clemson trying to take the lead here in overtime. Honor, slick feed, and Hall will draw the foul by Mutts.
If there's anyone tuning in for the first time and has not seen P.J. Hall play this year, you have to be a fan of this young man and what he's endured throughout this game. The punishment he's taken, the physical play, but still keeps getting up, keeps battling, and keeps making big plays for his team. And this is what I love about the ACC. Roger Ayers, one of the best officials in the world to get ACC what conference, having a conversation with P.J. Hall, just checking on him to make sure he's okay to continue, recognizing P.J. Hall wincing in pain.
Looking out for the welfare of the young man. Makes number 180% at the foul line for P.J.
We talk about Roger Ayers as one of the best officials in the game. Clearly the best dressed, no question about it. He's going to stay fly every time he walks into the
never
game.
fails to let you know.
Oh, yeah. We get the wardrobe rundown every time. Again.
Yeah, for more on P.J., let's go to Gray.
Well, Corey, you're talking about P.J. Hall and his toughness, and one thing I've noticed in the huddles, especially late, he's nodding his head up and down, telling himself he's got this and he can fight through, clapping his hands, really willing himself to finish this game.
That sounds like me, Dre. I'm always cheering myself up and rooting myself on.
Approaching the 1 minute mark in overtime. Gets it through to Murphy from the corner. Cannot drain that. Hall with a tough rebound. Clemson on top by 1 and the basketball in OT. Nick Honor going to take his time. Dogs. They're going to drive it to the paint. And a whistle and a foul. With 5 on the shot clock.
Love the attack by Isaiah Dogs. Virginia Tech with so much attention on P.J. Hall, trying to keep him away from getting the basketball. Isaiah Dogs seeing and taking his opportunity to get into the lane, getting fouled, an opportunity to make this a three-point game.
88% at the foul line, shooting 2, and a misfire. The Dawes took 281 shots in the regular season, 200 of those with three-pointers. He loves to shoot, period. And at the line, usually their most reliable guy, and he makes 1 of 2. 74-72.
And if you're right now for Virginia Tech, you don't need the 3. You can attack the basket, try to get the ball in the hands of your best player, Keve Aluma.
Shot and game clock almost in sync. The tour to the paint. Gives it up. Murphy outside. Murphy. A pass in heavy traffic and a whistle as Mutts went up. And he's fouled on the play.
And they get P.J. Hall for that play. When you see P.J. Hall, his body stays vertical, but his arms go down, and that is a foul. When you see he tries to pin Mutts on the basket, but watch the arms come down and make the contact. That's where the foul is.
So it's Mutts at the line. He makes 71%, 8.1 seconds to go, and misses the first one. And a timeout. Mike Young and the Hokies. 74-72 Clemson. And Mutts, the graduate out of Millville, New Jersey, with a big miss.
And was that Virginia Tech that called that timeout?
I believe it was. Yes.
That's shocking. Tough to call a timeout with your guy at the free throw line, especially after he's missed one. You almost ice your own guy. And I would expect it for Mike Young to allow him to shoot the next free throw, make it, then you call the timeout.
Yeah, very interesting, and now he's out of timeouts. Tigers have 1 left. Possession arrow is the Hokies. Look at some of the key plays that got us to this point deep into overtime.
Well, when you consider the big plays that have been made throughout this game, Storm Murphy with a huge three to give Virginia Tech the lead down the stretch, and then P.J. Hall getting into his bag, the jump hook over the left shoulder to tie the game at 66 and send it into overtime. We've had some big-time players making big-time plays here tonight.
And now we get some praying. Mutts with another shot coming. And a little practice. And made the second. 1-point game. 8 seconds to go. Tyson got it into Hall. And they're going to foul him immediately. As mentioned, he is an 80% foul shooter, 6.7 short.
And what a luxury to have your biggest guy on the floor, your best target to throw the basketball into from underneath out of bounds, being an 80% free throw shooter and trusted at the line in crunch time situations.
P.J. Hall shooting 2.
Clemson winning yesterday 70-64 over NC State in round 1. Now trying to knock off the number 7 seed and play their way into the quarterfinals against Notre Dame. P.J. Hall, too strong. Clemson does have a timeout remaining. And Hall with another one on the way. And trying to make it a 2-point advantage for the Tigers. And he does. Clemson will take that timeout.
And OB, Clemson is a founding member of the Atlantic Coast Conference. If they're able to walk away with their win, this will be only the 3rd time in program history where they've gotten multiple wins in the ACC tournament. And you would not expect that over a program that's put out the likes of Dale Davis and Tree Rollins. You're talking the long history of great Clemson basketball players, but only the 3rd time in program history they've won multiple games in the same tournament.
So they're up 2. What do the Hokies do here? Who gets the basketball?
Well, right now, I believe you have to go to Keve Aluma simply because you don't necessarily have to have a 3. A 2 will work. And so you get the basketball into the hands of your best player in Aluma, and you allow him to make the play. The shot may not be for him, but he makes the play. Whether he attacks the basket or finds one of his teammates out beyond the 3-point line for a win. And of course, when you think about trying to find those players outside the 3-point line, you look around and there are shooters all over the floor for Virginia Tech. And Keve Aluma is actually going to come out of the game right now.
Yeah, Murphy and Padula and Couture, all very capable of sticking that long-range shot. They remain on the floor.
Well, if this is any indicator, they're going for 3.
Into Maddox. 3 seconds. Maddox wants to take the 3. He drops it at the buzzer. Virginia Tech at the buzzer. 76-75. Corey, they went for the W and the dagger.
Darius Maddox with his 2nd game winner in a span of 2 weeks. Did the same thing at Miami at the end of the regular season. And Darius Maddox with a big bucket. And when you take Keve Aluma out of the game, you automatically know it's going to be a 3. They give it to the biggest player on the floor. And Darius Maddox is able to raise up over the top of a smaller guard and knock down the 3 for the win.
Well, I guess you can talk about it all you want, but in the end, give the ball to the guy who makes 53% from 3-point line.
And you look at the bench, you see Keve Aluma, Justyn, Justyn Mutts, all the bigs on the bench for Virginia Tech. And everyone excited for Darius Maddox, who comes up with another huge bucket.
Sophomore out of the state of